Hello everyone, welcome to Downtown Tailoring. In today's video we are going to make a super duper very nice alteration to a polka dot blouse, and I'm so excited because now that I have another channel I can use this one exclusively to make alterations. So if you haven't visited my new channel, click the link below so you can take a look, but after you watch this video. So let's go! This is a fabulous Kate Spade polka dot blouse, but it's not completely comfortable for my customer. It seems a little bit too tight on her. I estimate that she needs to let out about 3/4 inch at the sides. The peplum is a little bit too long and a little bit too wide. The zipper is not great. I hope I can fix that. Let me explain you what my customer wants. First, we want that peplum to be a little shorter. We want also to extend the gathering design to the peplum so it's all the way down. My customer feels like this way will be kind of more homogeneous, and then with the excess of material I have, I'm gonna add 3/4 inch at both sides. So to make this job, I'm going to start by removing the whole peplum. And for that, we have to remove the part of the zipper that is attached to the peplum. I'm using now a seam ripper because those stitches are very small and tight. I really like the way they finished that zipper. It looks amazing. I'm going to use a seam ripper for the first part to open the bias because those stitches are very small and tight. Sometimes the most important thing is to have patience, just to be careful and be sure that you are gonna do a good job. Later on, I can use the blade when it's safe, if it's safe. Seam ripper all along. Now the part of the zipper is open, and now I can detach the whole peplum from the dress. Polka dots remind me the ladybugs. We used to have some kind of cherries in my backyard, and it was full of ladybugs. I would pass my time just looking at them. There wasn't any tablet or cell phone at that time. Now my peplum is all detached, but now it's 6 o'clock and it's time for me to go home. It's gonna be a good rest. Okay, I'm back, and it was so good that I took this pause because while I was sleeping, I started to think that it would be a better idea to let out as much as possible at the sides. You see, I can get around 3/16, which will be 3/8 of the inch at the sides, and then at the back, I can get about 3/16 more, which will give me the 3/4 inches that I need at the sides instead of inserting material. I'm gonna use a very small needle because this fabric is very delicate. And I'm gonna start my job opening the armhole to get as much as I need. So I'm stitch, and I make sure to not stitch too close to the edge neither. Just enough. So now let me confirm if I got my 3/4 inch that I needed. So here at the sides I see like a 5/16, which is a little bit more than 1/4, and then at the back I have 1/2 inch. So yes, I have my 3/4, and I didn't have to add the material. And for ironing, of course, try to iron it first closed and then iron it open to try to erase as much as you can the mark of the previous stitch. Now is the time to work with the peplum. The first thing I'm gonna do is to measure the length that my customer wants, and as you can see it's about 6 inches, which is pretty much standard. And remember that now our back piece is a little bit bigger, so I have to go a little lower when I sew, and at the front too. But I want to explain you something, because remember that I need to gather the front part, and I'm gonna ask Miss Inch to help me explain you how this gathering is made. So let's say that I have the basic pattern of the Miss Inch skirt. I gave it to you in one of our other videos, so you can download it to practice. And pretty much what you do when you do a peplum, you close the dart and then you get the peplum that way. Of course, you have to soften up the curves so it looks nice, but pretty much is that. And this is what I have. Let me compare it with the original peplum so you can see that it's pretty much the same. But what happened when you want to gather the front as my customer want, you cannot just gather it. It doesn't look good, right? You have to prepare your pattern. So for example, in this pattern, what you will do, you will cut it, and then you go and spread the pattern as much as you need the gathering. In this case, you don't have a big gathering, probably 1 1/3 or 1 1/2 the measurement. It will be enough. So you spread it like that, and then you cut your material. This paper is like a fabric, so I'm gonna sew and stitch there so you can see how it looks. And this is what you really need to do. And let me put it on the mannequin so you can see the results. See, it's like a normal, right? But what about if you just take the peplum and then you just make it a little longer and then you gather that? What happens if you do that? Let me show you. The length of the elastic is the length that you want your skirt, and that way you make sure that it's all okay. But look what happened. With this gathering, in the right way, you have like a normal skirt with a normal shape. But with the other way, you have like a pitch, with the line in the center, and it doesn't look really good. And as you can see, the pattern at the edge is not straight, it's slightly curved. And this is why I wanted to explain you. So when you see me doing that slightly curved, you don't feel like I'm a little silly, you know. So to prepare the peplum, what I'm gonna do is to measure the back side of the peplum until the edge so I can have the right height. And then I'm gonna pin my peplum so it's symmetrical, folded by the center front and by the center back. And I'm gonna do the same from the height that I measure to the front, and then I'm gonna try to go a little lower just to have the measurement. So that would be more or less the top part of my peplum, and remember, it's going up a little bit, so we are imitating the pattern I explained to you before. And from there, I have to measure the length of the skirt and 2 inches more that I'm gonna do for the gathering. And then I will go and trace a slight curve to do a nice gathering. So pretty much this is the front part of my piece. And then for the hem, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mark the right length of the hem at the sides, and then from the center, I'm gonna go sliding down until the right side. So the center front is a little bit longer. Next, I'm gonna just trace the back of my pattern, and then I'm gonna make sure to mark the 6 inches for the length, and I have the pattern for my peplum. So the only thing next that I need to do is mark the seam allowance, 1/2 inch for the hem and 3/8 of the inch for the waist part. And that's it. And I just need to cut it, and I have it prepared. And then I'm gonna stitch over the mark I did, and then I'm gonna sew the elastic. And remember, the elastic I make it the 6 inches long, and then I'm going just to stretch it out, and it should give me the right peplum for my customer. So everything is going according to our plan, and I'm gonna now join the peplum to the blouse. And a trick that I like to do is to start by joining just a little bit in the side seam and in the front seam, so I make sure that that will be correct. And then when I make sure that the seams match, then I can go and sew all around and have my peplum done. And this is what I have until now. I tried on the mannequin. I still feel like the peplum is a little bit too big because my customer really don't want that peplum too peplum in. So I take in at the sides a little bit, and then of course I use my band rule to make a perfect 1/4 inch hem. And ta-da! This is my blouse. I think it's what my customer wants, but let me see. I'm gonna just scooch over a little bit my two mannequins, and I'm gonna bring the picture of the one with my result. Make sure that they are all the same size. Let me erase that piece of mannequin. That's not good. And here you go. That's the design, and these are the results. As you can see, the final result is a little bit more loose than the one in the middle, and as well it has everything that my customer wanted. I couldn't see it on my customer, so I'm not 100% sure that it is great, but I think it looks really good. If you find this video useful or entertaining, please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe, share, comment. Bye!